Thanks for staying with us. The Department of Water and Sanitation says it is working towards meeting the rapidly increasing demand for water. The department says it is now focusing on investing in additional national water resource infrastructure, among others. Let's explore some of the projects the department is talking about and if this could help at all. Benoit Leroy, SA Water Chamber CEO, Ayesha Laher, Water Institute of Southern Africa and AHL Water Director, join us live now. Good evening to you both and thank you so much for your time. I'm going to start with you, Benoit. The department says to ensure water security, it is focusing on investing in additional national water resource infrastructure, building awareness of the need to use water sparingly, among others. Does this help?
Well, it's actually quite ironic because Johannesburg, big parts of it are out of water as we speak, parts of Ekurhuleni and Tshwane, Gauteng. So, yes, look, we do need to augment our water supply, but the biggest demand in the towns at the moment is the non-revenue water, the physical leaks aspect of it. So we mustn't put new water into a leaking bucket. So we have to address the physical leaks in the non-revenue water whilst the new capacity is taking time to be built. So it's a two-pronged approach. It's not a singular one, but it's good that we're embarking on this. The whole is 900 billion, and this is over 100 billion of the whole. So we've got a lot of catching up to do, but it's good news.
And I'm going to ask you about those delays in just a moment. But Ayesha, let me come to you. This is a very important subject, especially of leaks. I mean, we've been hearing about leaks for years now. And one wonders, if you talk about issues of infrastructure and you speak about additional water projects, how much of an impact would these leaks then have if you do not fix them, but you're trying to add more water?
Bongwe, thanks for that question. I think the new projects are obviously commended. We do need new infrastructure. We have to ensure that there is sufficient supply for our economic growth, or we will be stifling our economy. However, as Benoit has said, if we are going to push more water into leaking infrastructure, we're not going to get more water out of that. So yes, while more water is required for new infrastructure, and the establishment of the National Water Infrastructure Agency is obviously key to that. And that will be important because the assets will be transferred over to this National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency, and they will have sufficient funding to leverage assets, to leverage funding for new projects. But the problem is at the municipal level, where do we get the funding for the replacement of the aging infrastructure? And I think then we look at the other question that we need to address revenue collection at municipal level and improve the revenue income so that they can, as a municipal level, address those that leaking infrastructure that's leading to the non-revenue water.
And I'm going to circle back to that. But Benoit, according to the department statement, there's about 14 major national water resource infrastructure projects that are valued at more than 100 billion rand, which, of course, are in different areas of implementation. The Lesotho Highlands Water Projects Phase 2, for example, the Guyani Water Supply Project in Limpopo, the Umkomazi Water Project, among others. As you said earlier, and the department statement is saying that there have been delays as well. But I wonder, what impact have these delays had in getting us to where we're finding ourselves right now?
The reality is they haven't, because what we found is that the leaking infrastructure in the towns has in actual fact been the primary cause of water outages, and it's unable to take the extra water. So I don't believe that's an issue. Where it could be an issue are return flows that go into for agriculture and downstream industry, etc. But at the moment, those delays are not necessarily as big an issue as we think they are. I mean, the quantum is big, but it's really, Rand Water's busy at the moment rejuvenating part of its network, its pump stations, etc. And this is to cater for the new water. And as soon as they start cutting back, all of a sudden the 3 metros in Gauteng run out of water. That's because their pipe systems, their distribution systems are leaking profusely, and they run dry very quickly. And then we recharge them, mechanical stress causes them to fail further. So I don't believe, that's the issue. There's no excuse for the delays, but, so we welcome them catching up. That's good. But we need to prepare and sort out the municipalities now. And, we have to depoliticize the water services in the municipalities to make some ground, because we're making none. We're regressing at the moment.
And Benoit, let me stay with that. How much of the politics would you say have also contributed as you talk about the depoliticization?
I would say 99.9%. You know, it's like a company. If the board is fighting, the management can't carry on. So it's a very straightforward thing. The politics have destabilized us for 30 years, and we have to depoliticize it. And it's not easy to do. It's an evolutionary thing we're going through, but we have to do it. And I think we're realizing if you don't, we've got empty taps.
Ayesha, we've seen some disruptions in, some municipalities and in some provinces as well. And a number of people also talk about the increase in population size coupled with some aging infrastructure. When you look at this particular issue and the municipalities that would be impacted, for example, would you say they're ready to deal with the increase in population size, especially looking at the current state of infrastructure?
So that is a very important question, but let's put it this way. We need the new infrastructure to address the increase in demand in our population, for our agriculture, for businesses, for mines, for whatever. However, we also need to address the losses, because we cannot put more water through a leaking pipelines, and we're not going to get more out. So there's a two-pronged approach here, as Benoit said. One of the biggest issues that we also have to look at the municipal level is that there's illegal connections that we need to get rid of. But I think we need to look at this in a holistic manner. The department is focusing a lot of their budget on the upgrades of the new resources. And they're also looking at revenue collection. But how do we plug that? That's not the entire water supply system that we're looking at holistically. So you need the new resource, then it will be delivered to municipality. But what is happening at the municipal level to address that? And the other question that we also need to look at is that when that new infrastructure is being built, whether it's at a national level, a regional level, or at a municipal level, because some of it obviously is at a municipal level, do we hand it over to competent people or organizations that can actually effectively run this infrastructure? We are notorious in South Africa for having new infrastructure being built, water infrastructure, given back to a municipality or even a water board that does not have the required skills, people, or budget to operate and maintain it. And what happens at the end of the day, we get that new infrastructure going down to a state of dilapidation in 5 years. So I think we need money for the new resources, but let us look at where are we building them, and are we handing them over to capable organizations that have got good governance, that have got skills, that have got procedures and systems in place to actually effectively manage this. And if we look at, say, for example, your Lesotho Islands project, we're developing new resources. Rainwater is upgrading their water treatment plants. But when it gets in the network, have we addressed that issue at the municipal level with City of Johannesburg and the politics that we see every day? No, we haven't. So are we going to get more water at the end of the day coming out, even if we build the new infrastructure? The answer is no.
And Ayesha, briefly then, when you look at this issue of revenue collection and how critical it is, especially when you think about the future, because if they have this infrastructure and also in some parts not able to then collect enough revenue, there are serious risks that this poses as well.
Yes, look, revenue collection is key to that. You cannot upgrade you cannot maintain your infrastructure if you don't have revenue collection. One of the proposed amendments to the Water Services Bill is that they will be, in the future, is to ask for ring-fencing of the budget. It's not put in as a requirement currently, but I think that's something we need to focus on. Because first of all, we need to get a billing system in place. We need to collect the revenue. We need to remove the illegal connections, but we need to ring-fence that budget, so that the budget that is allocated within a metropolitan like Johannesburg or eThekwini for water and sanitation goes directly into water and sanitation. And when you show as a municipality that you are a capable organization with transparency, with proper procedures in place, you can then leverage and apply for funding to close that gap, to get loans to upgrade your infrastructure. But nobody is going to loan money to an organization that is not viable. So we need to close that gap definitely, or we are not going to solve this problem.
It sounds like, both of you are raising some compelling arguments here. And it'll be interesting to even hear from the Department of Water and Sanitation about, these particular projects, but also, some of the issues that are being raised around leaks. We still talk about leaks in 2024. And also you think about revenue collection. But let me thank you both for your time. Do appreciate it. That was Benoit Leroy, SA Water Chamber CEO, Ayesha Laher as well, Water Institute of Southern Africa, and AHL Water Director.